Today on the channel, we take a trip back to the 80s with Sylvester Stallone, Rambo, and Jean-Claude Van Damme, Kurt Sloan, Kickboxer.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Everyone, Kyle here, back again with another Big Rubber Guys unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we got Kickboxer Kurt Sloan, aka Jean-Claude Van Damme, and Sylvester Stallone, aka John Rambo. But for all your Collect Major needs, you better head over to Collect Major. That's where you're going to find your Big Rubber Guys, Major Stars, Big Rubber Guys, and so forth. And that's where I got these guys from, of course. Long pre-order on these two, it felt like. And I believe now both in stock on their website, if I'm not mistaken. You'd have to look, and it all depends when you're watching this video, too. But one thing that we know is going to happen for sure is how we're going to do this review. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. We got Jean-Claude and Sylvester Stallone, two 80s, 90s action staples. No doubt about it. I would say between the two, Sylvester Stallone, the bigger star. I think that is fair. John Rambo, an all-timer of a character. A lot of people know the Rambo movies, probably more than Kickboxer. Even in my head, I always get confused sometimes between Bloodsport and Kickboxer for me. But obviously, Kickboxer is a story. Jean-Claude Van Damme's brother was like a championship fighter. And did he get like paralyzed or something? And then, of course, Jean-Claude's I'm going to revenge my brother and I'm going to turn it around and all this. And you know how it all goes. He wins at the end, gets the girl, and so forth and so forth. So it is a nice action movie, you know, Kickboxer obviously going to be. And this Kickboxer, we've already had a repaint of this one, and we got the dancing version of Jean-Claude Van Damme available. So a few different Kickboxers. I will say I really want the bloody variant of this one, and I really wish I knew both those were going to be available, because if I was going to pick just one, I would have liked the bloody variant. Maybe I'll play the long game if that is a thing with these, and I'll get that bloody one on clearance, because I'm not necessarily going to be a completist for the Big Rubber Guys anymore. It's just impossible with all the different franchises. We got Princess Bride coming. We got Flash Gordon. We got the Phantom. As much as I would like to be, it's just there's not enough money as there are action figures, I think. And I think a lot of us can relate to that. I think. But I would have rather had the bloody version personally. So maybe I'll pick that up in the future. And then Rambo's Rambo. Are we going to have more Rambo figures? Haven't seen anything yet, but I thought I read them talking one time that there was going to be more. Personally, Rambo 1's okay. I've seen it a couple of times, but the other Rambo movies I enjoyed a lot more. And was it like Rambo 5 was the one where he turned the army tank and shot the guy in the face? That was an amazing one where he took people back to Vietnam. It all runs together, but I remember it was one of the more modern takes on Rambo, and that's my favorite Rambo movie, which is wild to a lot of people, of course. But a lot of good action stars, a lot of good action movies, and makes you wonder what we could get in the future. Could we get some Arnold Schwarzenegger stuff? That would be great. I'm sure the Collect Major guys would love it as well. I'm sure Arnold's a little bit more expensive, though. Something tells me that. Anyways, enough jibber jabber out of me. Let's do Kurt Sloan Kickboxer first. How about? Looking interesting. Kickboxer, 18 up, Big Rubber Guys. Kurt Sloan, looking cool, and I do like the packaging. I like that they gave it special packaging, which makes it feel different than the other Major Bendies and Collect Major stuff, Major Stars, Big Rubber Guys, etc. So it feels like it's its own universe, as it should. It's the Kickboxer universe. Glamour shot up front looking good. Major on the side. Big Rubber Guys on the back. You know, one of my favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movies is JCVD. You ever seen that movie? It's worth checking out if you've never seen it. Quite the read back here, UPC as well. What's it say? When American kickboxing champion Eric Sloan is paralyzed. Oh, there we go. By the ruthless Muay Thai champion Tong Po. Oh, Tong Po. In an act of unnecessary and gratuitous violence, his brother Kurt vows revenge. With no experience in Muay Thai, Kurt seeks out and trains with a local master. I think it was Boss Rutan, Todd McFarlane. Where's the Boss Rutan Big Rubber Guy? Can't come soon enough. Enduring a series of grueling physical and spiritual challenges along the way. Didn't he have to beat up a tree or something like that? When Kurt and Tong Po finally meet in the ring, they must do battle in the ancient way, with hands wrapped in rope, coated in resin, and dipped in broken glass, because back in the ancient days, there was a lot of glass laying around all the time. Their fight to the finish, born of lust, power, and revenge, will leave only one man standing. The fight to the finish, Born of Lust. What lust was involved in that? Does anybody remember what lust? There was some girl. It was like the daughter of the sensei guy that he kind of had a thing for. And I think there was that scene with that little kid in there too, which was a little hair-raising. I'm not sure what was going on in that, but I don't remember a lot of lust in that movie. But maybe it's been a while. It's been a while. But let's get this one out of the package. Maybe. I do save my packaging on these. I have to figure out what the heck I'm going to do because it is really mounting up on us here. Can I get that out? There we go. Kurt Sloan, look at that. The kickboxer himself, ready to go. Ready to kick and possibly box is what he's ready to do. Off to the side, gentle. See you later. Jean-Claude Van Damme. Now, once again, we do got the dancing version if you want to pick that one up. It's, I think, 1 of 1,000, but there is a bloody variant. And as I said, I would have liked to have that bloody variant in my collection. Who knows? But here it is, Jean-Claude Van Damme, looking like he's like almost like a slave or a prisoner or something in some like jungle forest, because he just basically has his Muay Thai trunks on, which almost looks like he's just wearing a couple of napkins is what it looks like to me. It looks like he's just been cast away or something. I'm not sure, but he does got a haircut you could set that 80s watch to. My grandma would love this haircut, no doubt about it. 2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, and a mouth. Beautiful tan skin here. He's got that hot dog tan going on. The eyes may be a little bit wonky on this one. He looks a little bit off, but I've never looked Jean-Claude in the eye, so maybe he's got that issue. I'm not sure. We do got some black push brooms there above the eyes too, looking good. Big ripped up body here, looking like a Muay Thai fighter. Look like he's ready to join an MMA gym or something. He does got those taped up hands with all the glass on it. That is nice attention to detail. I like that sculpting on there. And I do like the color, especially the green and the brown, really add a dash of pizzazz to this figure, I will say. Talked about the skirt going on here, the Muay Thai trunks, got that. You got the bare legs, bare feet. He is a kickboxer after all. Collect major, 2026 major, got the major stamp on the foot. Always be Brandon, as we know. And then, of course, you got a little bit of movement here in the legs, but no real articulation in these figures. If I was a player, though, as a kid, this would play all right, I think. You got a nice stance on him, throw some punches, do some stuff. If you want to put this with your LJNs when you were a kid to play, I think this would have worked out okay. Not a bad piece of business. Just makes me want to get the bloody version, though. So we'll see what happens. Stay tuned. But now, turning our attention over to Rambo. A lot of people say, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, the big two. You know, obviously JCVD would like to have something to say about that. But I think most people would say Stallone and Schwarzenegger, they're the big two, if you ask me. And very cool to get a Rambo figure here. Rambo had a toy line once upon a time. Was it Remco? Or was it LJN? I think it was Remco once upon a time. I never had any of those figures. And Rambo even had a cartoon. Rambo just a little bit ahead of my time as a kid, but obviously you see it in reruns. You see it on HBO and stuff like that. Cool packaging design. You got Sylvester Stallone in the front, ready to go. All kinds of cool stuff going on. Even some accessories. First ever gun accessory in the major bendies, major collect major big rubber guys, anything. So cool to see that. First time. That'll be a trivia question on Jeopardy one day, I'm sure. Well, they'll say, what was the first ever weapon? Maybe not. When former Green Beret and decorated Vietnam War hero John Rambo wanders into a seemingly idyllic small town, he has no idea of the hell that's about to be unleashed. Unjustly arrested and mistreated by the overzealous sheriff and his deputies, Rambo escapes and flees to the woods. In the ensuing manhunt, Rambo has to call upon all his combat skills to stay alive and wage a one-man war on his pursuers. And there's a lot more to that first Rambo story than maybe the other Rambos, which are more just 80s violence and action movies, where the first one's telling the story of what a lot of the Vietnam vets had to endure when they came back to America. And I heard a lot of those stories from my father-in-law. My wife, of course, her dad was in Vietnam. He got shot a bunch of times over there. He had quite the experience over in Vietnam, but he would tell the story about how he came back off the plane. There was people there and they were spitting on him and stuff like that. And he didn't even want to go to Vietnam, but he had to. And it's kind of sad to hear, you know, all those young men back in the day had to go over there, you know, fight and do this because they had to. They didn't have a choice. And then, you know, they come home after all this and him getting shot multiple times, getting spit on and stuff. So you always felt bad for that story too. But, you know, that's part of history. It's part of history, no doubt. But now let's get Rambo out of here. And you know, Rambo got spit on and he didn't like it either. Todd, you like to be spit on? Oh, okay. You know, to each their own, as they say as well. Off to the side, a gentle see you later once again. Lost the little bullet strap there. And we got old John Rambo here looking good. Looking real good. He's got the knife as well. Got the big weapon. Let's put that. See you later. Goodbye. Let's get down to business here. Let's see what's going on with old Rambo. Now we do got the gun bullets in gold. Come on, JCVD. Stand up for this one. And we're going to put him down. He doesn't want to stand anymore. But you do got this looking very nice. Obviously, it does buckle together here, so you put it over the strap. Just really feels like something Rambo would have. You know, he's mowing everybody down. He's got to have these bullets ready to go, all in gold. Rambo, it's interesting. I think of weapons with him, but a lot of times I do think of like the big hunting knives or whatever. So I'm glad they gave us this one here. Very nice. Looking good, but very rubbery. Obviously, probably legal reasons. You don't want somebody carving their eye out or something like that. So you have to have that. Little green handle. Got the big old machine gun. Once again, very gummy weapons on these. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I don't know. There must be some kind of reasoning for that, but it's not hard like we would imagine it to be. But it does look good, all in black, big Rambo machine gun. So ready to go, ready to take on all comers. But now, here we go. And I will say, looks like Sylvester Stallone. If somebody handed me this head, I'd say, yeah, that's Sylvester Stallone. I see that in this one here. You got the big hair going on, a little bit of sideburns action, 2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, and a mouth. Got that Rocky face. Really looks like Rocky, and that'd be another great big rubber guy's line. Sure, that's pretty expensive, though, I'd have to imagine. He does got some blood coming down the side of the face, so this is the bloody variant as well. Blood on the arm, too, so who knows? Who knows? Maybe they'll have one without blood one day. It'll be the opposite way. I doubt it, but I do like the looks of it here. Gripping hand, so you can grip both weapons. Always want to be able to store everything on the figure. We can do that with these here. It's got that tank top over the top in gray. You got the holster on the side, which I believe is supposed to be for his knife. There's no way to put the knife in here. It would have been really cool if you could have stored the knife on the side. Not meant to be here. He's got some blue jeans ready to go. Nice and blue. And then you got the brown boots down below. Looking very good. Body size here looks good for Stallone, especially Rambo 1 era. He wasn't quite the jacked up specimen he got to be in the 80s. I think he had some help along the way, Todd McFarlane. But it does look good. And actually, if I was going to use these with my wrestling figures, it'd be a pretty good playability. He could be a little cruiserweight, maybe, coming off the top rope with splashes, clotheslines, eye gouges, maybe a back rake or two. Who knows? And then he's got some blood in here, so you could have that going on. But not a bad piece of business. Obviously, no articulation once again, but I always got to say it on that. Collect Major 2026. Major, once again, looking pretty good. So Sylvester Stallone, John Rambo, Kurt Sloan, Jean-Claude Van Damme enter the big rubber guys arena. Who is next as far as big action stars? As I said, we got Princess Bride, we got the Phantom, we got Flash Gordon, we got more wrestlers, we got some baseball stuff coming. But what's going to be next out of these big properties? Can we get a Schwarzenegger? Can we get a RoboCop? What will we get? It's going to be interesting to see here in the future. It's tough to be a completionist, though, in this day and age with this line, as they've branched out so far, and then the price point, it's a pretty tough one. But I know they would be the first to say, don't be a completionist. So there you go. But these two, pretty darn fun to have. I'm on the fence on the other two Jean-Claude Van Dammes. Do I need them? Maybe not. But if there's a deal, a special sale going on, if they have an Easter sale, maybe I would jump in if they're still available. That's the other thing. You never know. But there it is. Be interested to hear your thoughts on these two. You pick up either of these. You want either of these. Let me know in the comments below. And I guess say, who do you want to see next in this kind of vein from the Big Rubber Guys? Stick it in the comments down below. You made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day and then some. We got even more content for you on Patreon, YouTube channel memberships. Videos every single day over there. Your best way to support the channel. Sir Paul64 on the X, the _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and the Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com, which is also the name of my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, each and every Tuesday, wherever podcasts are found, with videocast on YouTube. So for Rambo, and of course a kickboxer, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?